Good day, everyone, and to Sir Francis. We are Group 3, and today we are here to present our research details.
Understanding the lived experiences of Filipino eldest children to be the family's breadwinner. Chapter 1: The Problem and its Background. Background of the study. Parents contribute a great deal to their children's career development. According to Amarnani, Bordia, Garcia, and Restubog in 2016, despite the central importance of this concept, little research has examined the role played by parental engagement in the link between the child's self-concept and career development. The breadwinner is the member of a family whose wages supply their livelihood, in essence, a person who makes money for others. They support or provide for the dependents, which in this case, the family. The concept of the breadwinner role became prominent between 1790 and 1865 in the West under industrialization. The first known use of this word was in 1771 or more commonly 1818. Compound word, the bread and breadwinner refers to the food that was staple for many households throughout history and for the overall general referential term for food. And the winner is what everyone all knows it as. The breadwinner is the person who is able to win the most bread for the family, most likely the one who has the highest paying job. Customarily, if the parents have done their part for their children financially, their expectations for their children to take over escalates. According to Sapolsky in 2017 in his book Behave, The Biology of Humans at Our Best and Worst, family socioeconomic status has been frequently linked to children's early development. Children born into poverty are more likely to have their brains stimulated to mature quickly and prepare for their parents' expectations. The concept of breadwinners in Britain developed among the emerging middle class towards the end of the Industrial Revolution in the mid 19th century. The emergence of this norm aided them to facilitate the removal of children from the workforce. In other countries like the US, a breadwinner or head of household can benefit from a lower tax rate. According to Fisher and Luchters in 2016, is in the most disadvantaged position in their societies, and children living in low human development index countries are at the greatest risk of failing to reach their developmental potential. Optimizing care for child development at home is essential to reduce the adverse effects of poverty on children's early development and subsequent life. In this matter, however, the development at home is interrupted with the burden to lift the family to success, as per the parents' expectations.
The breadwinner concept can be often linked with poverty. Parents are duty-bound to provide their children with a safe and secure environment. With stress due to poverty, parents rather resort to harsh and punitive means in disciplining their children. De Leon Manzano Sagpang in 2018. This can also mean projecting the parents' views to their child, affecting their outlook. Scott Oshry Owen Smith and you in 2020 examined how exposure to severe poverty related to behavioral self-regulation growth during early childhood as mediated by parenting practices. They tested ethnic differences and their data were collected across four waves from 359 low-income African American and Latino families. Behavioral self-regulation was assessed when children were 3.5, 6, and 7 years old, and parenting was observed when children were aged 2.5 years old. They found out more frequent exposure to severe poverty was associated with slower behavioral self-regulation growth, and the effect was partially mediated through less sensitive and supportive parenting practices for Latino families. In this country, being able to give back to parents is a great accomplishment or satisfaction, which is why filial piety is prevalent. It is an obligation that arises not out of force but by habit, a sense of moral imperative instilled at a young age. Investigating the Philippine history revealed the age structure of labor force participation rate shown in this study. from the psa.gov.ph was heavily clustered in the 25 to 34 age bracket among men from 1987 to 1996. The highest was noted at the group 35 to 44, where more than 95.0% of the total men household population 15 years old and over were in the labor force. These are the ages where men strive to work or to look for work because they are considered as family breadwinners. In 1987, an issue like this already existed. With the help of this data and information, the researchers can comprehend more of this concept. Filipinos are a large yet invisible minority at high risk for adolescent behavioral health problems. Limited research describes the family as offering a source of positive support for some Filipino youth, and yet for some it is also a source of stress and isolation, leading to struggles with adolescent depression and even suicidal behavior. Alinganga, Galura, Javier, Palingkas, and Supan in 2019, working for one's own living is hard enough, and working to support the whole family's income can be a huge endeavor, especially when trying to make ends meet. Experiences may vary from one family to another based on the many factors they encounter. All throughout reviewing the related literature for this study, there are still no concise and clear findings as to why this expectation phenomena is happening, which is why the researchers yearn to unravel the cause of this and understand.
The research is an application of theories in the discipline of psychology. Family systems theory claims that the family is understood best by conceptualizing is its complex, dynamic, and changing collection of parts, subsystems, and family members. This theory also addresses the issue of boundaries, which could be a big help to this study since it's crucial to healthy family functioning.
Research objectives. The objective of this study is to determine why eldest children are often foreseen to be the family's breadwinners. This study investigates to answer the following objectives. General objective: to analyze the root cause regarding the Filipino parents' expectations to their eldest children to be the family's breadwinner. Specific objectives: to assess the Filipino parent-child relationship through the lived experiences of the study's participants and to determine its universal effects on the eldest child of the family.
In correspondence with these objectives of the researchers, the statement of the problem is as follows. This study aims to determine what led the parents to have expectations that their eldest child will be the breadwinner of the family. The questions that the researchers need to solve are the following. General problem. What are the possible causes of the parents' expectations for their eldest child to be their family breadwinner? Sub-problems. The parents have similar experiences when they were young which brought about the aforementioned expectations affecting their relationship with their child. And what are the major effects of these expectations on their eldest child?
Scope and delimitation. This study focuses on the theme of the eldest children expected as the family's breadwinners. Hence, the main respondents will be the eldest children or panganay studying in high school and their parents. The primary focus would be these participants' experiences, which the researchers will gather to obtain data. The researchers will also search for qualified participants residing in NCR, the study's research locale. The main, the main purpose of the study is to identify the situations, aspects, and dynamics of the eldest child and parents living in the same household. Along with this study will take family in general. Since they have different responsibilities compared to their older siblings, they are excluded from the study.
Significance of the study. The overall result of this study would create a major contribution to future researchers in terms of knowledge and understanding other people's perspectives. The result of this study may provide high importance and would be beneficial, especially to the following. Eldest child. This study would help the eldest child of the family to understand why they are always the chosen one to be the breadwinner. Parents. This study would give parents the idea about why they get used to choosing their eldest child as the breadwinner of the family as a tradition. Immediate family. The immediate family could have enough knowledge about the eldest child's emotions regarding the particular expectations from that child. Youth that experience the same dilemma. This study may help the youth or teens that experience the same dilemma in expanding their knowledge regarding being the breadwinner of the family at an early age. Future researchers. This study may help the future researchers as their basis in conducting their own future study about being the breadwinner of the family.
Synthesis.
The study and the overall theme of family relationships and well-being is helpful and relevant to this study's topic, as it highlights the quality of family relationships as well as the diversity of family relationships themselves. According to Thomas, Liu, and Umbergstone 2017, the family relationships are a major social institution since it is where everybody comes. Another research regarding this theme is reviewed. It revolves around how everything a parent does may affect a child since their mental state depends on how the respective family system works. Mies 2015.
The role of social status and family dynamics theme features studies that examine the connection between family socioeconomic status, social relationships, and the career identity of adolescents. One in 2019 conducted a study regarding this, and their findings suggested that the inequality in the career development of adolescents due to family economic status could be reduced by promoting positive social relationships. Hanpa, Hakoverta, and Kula in 2019 examined how poverty and social relationships affect the perceived life satisfaction of Finnish school children, and their findings highlight significant implications for family policies and services that promote good parenting and positive parent-child relationships. The aforementioned research findings are greatly beneficial as their verdict exhibits relevance for this study, primarily on the parent-child relationships.
In the theme of the impact of family structure and family change on child outcomes, the concept of families of different contexts tend to have different outcomes of the child's well-being is introduced. Mackay in 2005 stated that the action of the child depend on how the respective families function as the developmental process of a child always begin with their parents. If the family changes its actions towards a child, it will for sure change how they behave. In another related literature for this theme, Mees 2015 stated that parenting behavior and child outcomes are so heavily influenced by the family, environment, and parents' psychological well-being. In conclusion to this study, whatever action the parent may bring, may it be pressuring them to do something that pushes the limits, will for sure affect the child.
In the theme Improving Family Relationships with Emotional Intelligence, the EQ concept of Barca 2019 can also be acquainted with this study's researches as it revolves around overcoming rips and strengthening bonds to improve one's family relationship. The researchers can delve into this issue to achieve a better understanding of the study's construct, the
Chapter 3: Research Methodology.
Research design. The qualitative research design is chosen for this study. Qualitative research is a type of social science research that collects and works with non-numerical data and that seeks to interpret meaning from these data that help understand social life through the study of targeted populations or places. Crossman 2020. As it would be impractical to conduct an interview with everyone in the population, given that there are resource constraints and various adverse circumstances that are possible to happen. A sample for all cities of the National Capital Region or NCR, Philippines will be chosen to represent the whole population. Phenomenology is the most suitable type of qualitative research for this paper. Phenomenology is a form of qualitative research that focuses on the study of an individual's lived experiences within the world. Ubar, Varpio, and Whitcup in 2019, it is befitting for the study because the researchers want to fathom the root cause of the parents' expectations of their children and further elaborate the breadwinner concept.
Research subjects. The non-probability sampling approach is used for this study. The technique used to choose the people who will be a part of the study is the purposive sampling technique. Through this technique, the researchers establish selective or subjective sampling. Thereby, there is no existence of inclusion criteria when choosing the participants. In accordance with this, The respondents must meet the qualification for them to participate in the study. Inclusion criteria. A teenager currently studying secondary education, an expected breadwinner of the respective family. Parents can be contacted and participate in the study as well. Once these standards have been achieved, they are rightfully chosen as a participant of the study. As per the criteria, the family's younger children and other family members will be excluded.
Research Local. The study will be conducted at the National Capital Region NCR, Philippines. It is composed of 16 cities known as Manila, Quezon City, Caloocan, Makati, Las Piñas, Malabon, Mandaluyong, Marikina, Muntinlupa, Navotas, Parañaque, Pasay, Pasig, San Juan, Taguig, Valenzuela, and the municipality of Pateros. All data from the qualified respondents residing in the 16 cities mentioned above will be utilized for the researchers' analysis. The researchers decided that this study will take place at the National Capital Region due to the reason that it is the most accessible and convenient for them, making it easier to reach out to respondents and gather data timelier. The appointed location is also favorable for the chosen respondents as they reside within this region, ensuring their comfort.
Research instrument. The research instrument consists of two parts. Part one of the research instrument comprises of gathering respondents' profiles such as their age, sex, current high school year level of the eldest children, parents' educational attainment, and parents' occupation. Aim will be overview. It is composed of questions revolving around the experience of the one child, such as what they learn and what they feel about being the eldest and how they cope with this pressure. And two, the parents. What circumstances have led them to put these expectations on their child? To test the reliability of the interview, the that will be used, the types of validity the researchers will utilize is the face validity and construct validity. The face validity will be used to consider how suitable the content of the interview would be on the surface, and construct validity is used to further ensure that the method of measurement matches the construct the experiences of the respondents in this matter. The researcher, as psychologist and statistician, they will interpret, score, and evaluate the study through the Learning Research Management Development System or LRMDS tool.
Data gathering procedure. The proper order in which the researchers will collect the data will be mentioned in this section. As the researchers professor approved the title, they specify the general objective as well as the specific problem that needed to be addressed by the study's findings.
The data or information of this research will be gathered and processed by sending a permit first to the respective research teacher of this study's researchers and the senior high school principal of Technological Institute of the Philippines as to allow them to travel in different places of national members of the group facilitating them. After the letter and the research instrument will be approved, the researchers will now look for respondents that are qualified and perform the split half method, unstructured interview with them from different parts of NCR. Eldest children, dinner, and parents can be contacted. Such qualifications of the respondents will be considered. Before an interview takes place, the researchers will set a date and time where both them and the respondents will be available to communicate. Both of them should be free from distractions and will be most comfortable with the respondents.
Before the interview formally begins at the time and location set, respondents will be given assurance about ethical principles such as anonymity and confidentiality and will be informed about the study details. This is to give them an idea on what to expect from the interview, which further increases trust of the respondents. A fundamental aspect of the consent process, at the end of the interview, the researchers will be able to gather the data from the respondents and validate the respondents' comments in the interview by consulting a psychologist and a statisticians.
And now we conclude our research defense. Thank you for listening.